Well, hey, everyone. Happy Thursday night. I'm Tia Knapp, and my
I'm Dr.
friend over
Michael
here.
Gross. Hello, everyone.
We're happy that you're joining us today. It's our Thursday night message from Michael. Ooh, that's a new title. We should name it that, maybe, huh? Okay. Well, the topic is the shift number two.
Right.
And I'm going to get to that in a minute. But, Michael, you want to thank everybody for popping in really quick?
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate everyone that dropping in. Some exciting news to share with you, and we can't wait to share it with you. I know Tia will be putting in information shortly into the chat how you can get a hold of me. So when you see her working, that's what she's working on. Well, Tia, why don't we do the formal introduction? I know by now all those that have followed me are aware of it, but just go ahead, Tia. My
Okay,
computer's doing
Michael.
some weird things, so pardon
Okay,
me.
Michael. We actually may have some new
There we go.
followers. I invited some new people. So here we go.
Beautiful.
Dr. Michael Gross is an author, professional keynote speaker, transformational coach, and an entrepreneur. For more than 3 decades, he's been on a spiritual path as an intuitive, a healer, a spiritual counselor, and an incredible teacher. Through the guidance of spirit, Michael has assisted others in their personal quest for self empowerment, helping them to create the lives that they have long sought and to bring forth their own intuitive abilities. Michael currently teaches classes in spirituality, Reiki, self empowerment, and other modalities. In concert with God, the true source, he has also achieved great success and miraculous healings. Michael remains humble, knowing that the work that he does all comes from God, the true source. He currently lives in Lakewood, Washington, and has recently launched his nonprofit. So, Michael, why don't you take a minute, let the people know a little bit about your nonprofit, and then go right into the topic, okay?
All right. Well, you've heard this before. It's the International Institute of Self Empowerment, and it's all about helping abused women, children, and men. And what we're doing is we'll be raising funds. We're open right now. We have Cash App where you can donate some money if you so desire. And we affectionately call it TISE, DIISE, the International Institute of Self Empowerment. And when Spirit said I'm supposed to do this and develop 12 arms, which means 12 different things we'll be doing, the first one was abuse women, children, and men. And there's no better expert than Tia Knapp, who wrote a beautiful book, Healing the Holes in Your Soul, who is a survivor. And I asked her to be director of that. I'm trying to find the right words, director of that particular area that we'll be focusing on. So thank you to you. All right, everyone. So I want to share with you the shift part two. Last week I talked about the shift. I didn't call it part one, but I mentioned there would be a part two. So what is really the shift? Just to review for a few moments. And that is we are being asked by our soul and by the true source to make a shift in our thinking, the way we do things, and become more connected to the true source and enlightened. Now, what I want to stress, there's a difference between religiosity and spirituality. And just to remind you that religiosity is somebody else's rules and regulations, and spirituality is your own experiences. And originally, all religions were set up so that you would explore spirituality. And somehow or another, whether by their intent, meaning well, it kind of got lost. And now we're supposed to come back, all of us, into researching spirituality, and that's reconnecting with the true source. And I want to reiterate that anybody can do that. And now, in connecting with the true source, we had a period beginning of August last year to March 31st of this year for our soul to say, okay, it's time to become spiritual. Now, again, I'm talking about spirituality, not talking about religiosity. And you probably were saying to yourself or thinking, well, I'm spiritual. Yes, you are. All of us are spiritual. However, sometimes our ego gets in our way. And when our ego gets in our way, we forget what spirituality is all about. So, in essence, spirituality It's discovering who you are, what you are, and reconnecting with the true source and your soul so that you now may do your missions and goals. And your missions and goals, to reiterate, are family, friends, relatives, careers, and also your spiritual mission and goals. And once you have accomplished your spiritual missions and goals, then you have a choice. You can take on a new mission and goal, or you can birth out of your body. Now, there are 3 times in your lifetime you can birth out of your body. Notice the words, I don't like death, so I use birth out of your body. The 3 times that you can. With the provision that if you birth out anytime the first or second phase that you can birth out, you have to come back and finish what's unfinished. So you have to come back into another embodiment and finish whatever you didn't finish. Or you can wait till you finish all your missions and goals and do your spiritual missions and goals. And in doing so, then you can birth out. So really think about it. What are our missions and goals? Well, they're predetermined by you before you incarnate. And you choose your family, friends, relatives, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, friends, and even your spouse or multiple spouses or whatever, all for a reason. But now that I've laid the background for each one of you, I want to go into a little bit more depth. So some of you may be experiencing lack of sleep, anxiety, a little frustration, headaches, pressure. Your thinking may be a little foggy. You don't know what you want to do. You want to make changes. And so I want to address, if you're not sleeping well and you're waking up in different hours, it's because really you're working out of your body. It is determined in your sleep that you do go out of your body. And you're working with your guides and angels and the true source of whomever are preparing you for this major shift that's coming about. Well, the next thing is, why is this shift coming about? Well, stop and look at the world. Look at the chaos that's going on all over the world. So one of the affirmations that I use, and I say I'm of this planet, but not in the negative emotion of this planet. Well, you decided to be here. And a very dear friend of mine would go, what the heck did they spike our drinks with for us to incarnate, Michael, and put up with all this stuff? And we kind of laugh. Of course, my other one is Scotty Beam Me Up. You've probably heard that if you're a Star Trekkie, which I am. But getting back to the original thought is, your soul is asking you to change directions. What we have to realize is that we are the solution. We can make a difference. And you're probably wondering, well, how can I make a difference? I'm only one person. That's true. You are only one person, but you're very powerful. Your soul is very powerful. And if we look at back of the Revolutionary War, there were a few people that had an idea. They wanted to break away from the tyranny from England, taxation without representation, and so on. It was just a handful, and it spread like wildfire. And what happened was, we had the Tories, which were pro-King of England, and the Patriots, which were freedom. And so this is what went on for a while, and the Tories outnumbered the Patriots, but they wouldn't give up because they wanted freedom. Every country, no matter what your country you're living in, who are watching this, the essence was freedom. That's what we all sought. Freedom. Freedom to express ourselves. Freedom to experience. Well, you've had that some in your lifetime, or most of you have had. But this great shift that has already started says, what are you going to do with your life? Where are you trapped? What are you locked into? What is your fear? Are you fight, or flight, or frozen? What is the anxiety? So the ultimate wisdom of the true source, as I said, as Jesus, Buddha, and others have said, that the true source is unconditionally loving, allowing, non-judgmental. Unconditionally loving. I want everybody to realize that. So no matter what you've done, of course, and if it's negative, the true source loves you unconditionally, like a parent loves their children unconditionally. However, by the law of karma, and we asked for that, by the way, so we've created karma. And what is karma? It's nothing but an experience. And they divide karma and dharma. Dharma is what they call positive karma, and karma is negative. Well, it's not really negative, it's just an experience. But now you're being asked to make a decision. You've already made the decision by March 31st of this year, 2023, but now you're being asked to follow through. And you're probably wondering, how do I follow through? Well, look at your life. Is it joy or happiness? Is it? That's great. Where is your security? Oh, let's see. Lots of money. That's security. All the toys that I have, toys, boats, cars, homes, whatever you call it. And there's nothing wrong with it. Except what you need to understand is what is controlling you. Are you doing everything out of love and joy and happiness? Or are you doing it because you're insecure and you're fearful and you're worried? Well, you are not made to be on this planet to starve, go hungry, unless you choose to do that. That's really important for you to understand. You have choices. And I meet people, no, I can't, I can't, I can't. And you know my answer. You won't, you won't, you won't. So now a lot of pressure is being brought upon you. And when I talk about the major shift has to happen planetary wide. And all we need is 1%. 1% of approximately 8 million people, 8 billion people to make a change. And then it will spread like wildfire, kind of like the 100th monkey syndrome. So what you're being called upon, your soul, is saying, look at your life. What do you truly desire in your life? And how are you going to make yourself happy? In fact, I love the, the phrase, which not mine, was what makes your heart sing. That's so important. And now you need to search what makes your heart sing deep within your soul. Well, what does that really mean? It means you wake up, you're joyous, you're happy, you're looking forward to every experience. That's so important. Every experience. It's empowering. It gives you knowledge. It gives you healing. Unless your ego comes in and aids you in falling in the trap of fear and security. And as I work with so many people, they have to always ask somebody else's opinion, and I keep asking others' opinion. Well, you ask 10 people, you get 10 different answers, or maybe a couple of them are similar. Why do you have to ask someone's opinion? Because you don't trust or believe in what you're thinking or hearing to do. So when I talk about thinking or hearing, I say listen to true inner source guidance or your soul. Most people expect, Michael, take a left turn here. Michael, do that. Well, that's called clairaudient. I have experienced it, but rarely. Most of the time is we call it the gut feeling. What feels really right? And just do it. And never look behind. Everything you do adds to your knowledge, your experience, and your strength and empowers you. Even if you've gone bankrupt or you've been in business, if you lost something, you've gained knowledge. That's really powerful. And perhaps you chose this so you can be on your path. I know Tia would like to add something. So, Tia, go ahead.
Thank you. Um, a lot of the times I'll get that gut feeling, when, whatever it is that I'm choosing to do. And in that gut feeling, I know that when I just don't analyze, it's the right choice. But how do we determine, if you don't mind sharing, um, how do we avoid analysis paralysis? And, is that our ego?
Well, that's a good point. So, we're taught to analyze everything and think everything through. And of course, you ever hear buyer's remorse or things like that, other things that go on. The first inclination that you have, or feeling, or emotion, or thought that comes out of the blue. So you might be sitting down and having a spaghetti dinner or whatever you're having, and you hear the thought, time to get a new car. Well, wait a minute, I'm just having dinner. What's that got to do with a car? And that's your soul saying, there's going to be a problem. So anytime I get a new car, I hear, time to get a new car. And invariably, if I don't, pay attention to it, it'll break down. Or it'll need thousands of dollars repair. So therefore, you avoid it. You get a new car, you take a trade in. They're going to give you whatever the car is worth, whatever they believe it's worth. You don't know for sure it's going to break down. And you end up buying a new car or a used car. And then you're happy. Then you sit there, well, it was really my imagination. Should I really bought a new car? Or did I need a new car? And that is your ego judging, judging, judging. Most important, factor in your life is never to judge yourself. All right? Never ever judge yourself. When something goes awry, all you need to say, I should have listened. Next time I'll listen. Don't beat yourself up for it. I've worked with clients that almost had a nervous breakdown because they did something and everybody judged them and criticized them. And they begin to second guess themselves. And then they begin to falter and so on and so forth. You know, it's one of the facts of how our emotions affect us. Psychologists said this, and I looked it up and then I felt it. Whenever you're angry or mad, you end up injuring yourself, like twisting your ankle, banging your hand, cutting yourself. Sometimes you don't even realize it, except, oh, I got a little pain in my hand. I don't know how that happened. But that's a way of punishing yourself. Now, why would you do that? Of course not. But remember, when you're really angry with somebody, you're angry at yourself. You're angry at yourself for allowing it to happen. Why? Because you didn't listen to it. So when I talk about the shift number 2, I'm talking about now's the time with all this information I'm feeding you, and there probably will be more information coming through when you meditate. It's for you to make a decision in your life. And number 1 is, what really makes my soul sing? What really makes me happy? Set aside materiality. Ask whatever it is that's not materiality. The reason I say that, people go, well, if I had the perfect job, if I made $1 million, if. Right. And then they get that, and then they want this, and then they want this, and then they want that. And they keep wanting everything more and more and more. And you know why? Because they haven't found what makes their soul sing. And that's what's so important. What makes your soul sing? It's so important that each child that you have that comes into your life, they have their own life experiences. And that if they want to go to college or a private school, whether you're the vehicle that forced them to do it, they get a scholarship or whatever they so desire, they will do it. And that's what's so very important. I've told the story where a friend of the family's was in high school, junior high actually, and he wanted to play a band instrument, and all they had was just this one simple little oboe, just an oboe. And he played it. And then he went to the art school and played oboe, and he became the number 1 oboe player in the world. He had students, people following him. He was very busy, and at that time, he was in the Massachusetts Symphony, and Ozawaya, something like that, who was a conductor from Japan. And here he did, at 15 years old, never wanted to play the oboe, but he just did it and decided he liked it and became the number 1 in the world. Well, in our analytical, logical mind, we go, well, I don't want to play oboe. It's too darn hard. It's probably a waste of time, yada, yada, yada. And then they would try to play it. They'd discuss it. They would make mistakes, and they'd give it up. And maybe that was your life path. So you do something else, and then you do this, and you do that. You do this, and you do that. And you're really never happy. You have to understand that your soul is directing you. Don't analyze, just do it. And have faith. It's called the leap of faith. You all hear that? That's what it's all about. Taking that leap of faith. I came from Boston out here. That's a leap of faith. I only knew maybe one person, maybe not. Didn't know what I was going to do. No job, no nothing. And here I am. And ended up teaching college, and that's another story. Anyway, you just let things happen. So it's being called being in the flow of life. And that's so important for you to know. To you, did you want to say something?
Had me muted.
Huh.
When you're in the flow of life and you're so absorbed in your passion, this happened to me today. I just want to share it with you, okay? Because I was doing, you know how much I love photography, right?
Right.
And I actually totally was so absorbed by what I was taking the pictures of that I walked away from my car. Engine was still running, keys were still in it, and I didn't even know that I had left my car running. I had walked across this very short street, and I was on the opposite side of the street, away from my car, taking pictures, and then I went down a little bit, started chatting with a lady that was doing the same thing. And then when I reached down to find my keys, I realized I didn't have them. Is that an indicator that I was so deeply in the flow of my life?
Absolutely. You're deeply in the flow. But here's the other part. You were protected because you're following your soul's urge. The pictures you take really inspire others. They're beautiful. Talks about nature and art. And at the same time, nobody stole your car. Nobody broke into it. Pretty amazing, isn't it?
The window, the windows were open, the engine was running, the keys were in it. They could have left any time, and I wouldn't have even noticed. Thank you for protecting my. Thank you for teaching me that my car is protected.
Yes, it is.
So
And
am I.
that's what we all need to understand. We are protected, but you need to listen and not guess yourself. If you hear like or you think, well, I want to park in front of Macy's, but I'm going to drive around instead of going back 3 rows. So you park in front of Macy's and you come back and someone opened the door and ding your door. Darn it, if I parked 3 rows back, I wouldn't have had the ding in my door. But there's nobody to really blame but yourself. What we're being taught in the shift is beginning to listen to the thoughts of our soul and realizing there is more to life than accolades, that being number one, having all the toys, materiality is much more to life. Because when it's all over and done with and said, you're going to look at life just before you birth out and you said, I should have, would have, and could have done this. And you're going to be remorseful, but you listen to your ego. On the other hand, when you do that and you birth out, wow, what amazing life I had and all the things I experienced. That's going to bring your heart's joy. And your soul says, yep, you did your mission and goal. So I implore everybody, as we're running a little late on time, to stop for a moment. Listen to your thoughts of the soul. Ask what makes your heart sing and do things that bring you joy. That's not working 24/7, but it means working on yourself 24/7 to learn about what makes your heart sing in love and joy in your life. I want to thank all of you, and we're going to talk about a few things in a moment. But I want to ask all of you, every one of you, to pass this on. Go to YouTube, Dr. Michael B. Gross. You can see all the beautiful photographs that he has taken with some of beautiful thoughts that I share, and play this over again and realize that the only limitations in life you have are your fears, your doubts, and your anxiety because you're unlimited. So, Tio, share the information with them that every Tuesday evening between 6:30 and 7:30 Pacific Daylight Time, I have mass consciousness. No, it's not mass consciousness. I'm sorry. Soul awakening. And soul awakening is you call up and you ask questions, and I deliver a 10-minute message. In order to access that, why don't you give them the telephone numbers on freedomconferencecall.com?
I would love to give the number. It's 202-926 1059, and the access
The
code.
access code is 125-446-pound.
One more time. It's 202-926 1059, and the
And
code.
the access code is 125-446-pound. And using that same code and telephone number, the second Saturday of every month between 9:55 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time to 11:01 Pacific Daylight Time, we do a mass consciousness healing on Mother Earth and all the inhabitants, the animal, mineral, and vegetable kingdom, and ourselves. It's very important that we do that. And I talk for the first 3 or 4 minutes, then we do it in silence. Should you tune in late, and somewhere around 10:58, I come back on for 2 or 3 minutes, then we conclude. In order to access that, this is the telephone number.
It's the same as the Tuesday night call-in, so I'll give it one more time. We also have it in the comments in the chat. It's 202 926 1059. And the code, Michael?
125-446 pound. So everyone, you've got that. Now, I call it the replay, and there are over 200 of them. And these are the 10-minute messages I deliver, and it goes from 3 to what number?
Oh, I think it's over 200 now, Michael. 250, I think.
All right, somewhere between there. But what's important is you just say, what number should I listen to when you dial in? And you pick a number from 3 to 210 or 15. And I can't tell you how many people said, yep, I just needed to hear that. That's because you're listening to your soul guidance. And that telephone number is?
That one is 434 300 4170. And the
The
code?
access code is 125-446 pound.
I'll give that one again. It's 434 300 4170. And the code, Michael?
The access code is 125-446 pound. I encourage all of you to spread the word and join us, because remember, you are the solution and you can make a difference. And there's something else we'd like to
Oh,
share.
and one more thing. Make sure, Michael, while
Yep.
you're doing that, go to Michael's YouTube page. All the recordings that we've done, his recorded 10-minute messages, are also being posted on his YouTube channel. So go to Dr. Michael B. Gross and make sure you follow him, subscribe to his channel so you can get all the golden nuggets. Everything is posted there. And now, Michael, you ready?
Yes, this is brought to you by, as I say, this beautiful book called Healing the Holes in Your Soul, written by T.U. Nat. It's all about, like the phoenix rising from the ashes. It's a must read. And again, as I pointed out, we're not in business to sell books. We're here to share this knowledge to empower you. That's what we're here for. So thank you.
So I would highly recommend you start with the spiritual primer. This is Michael's second edition. It's got some extra golden nuggets in it. And the beautiful thing is, if it wasn't for this book and the man over here on my side, the book that he's holding would never have been written. But he is an amazing person, beautiful soul, and he even wrote the foreword in my book. So definitely, grab yourself a copy of this. If you'd like to get a signed copy, connect with us. All the contact information is in the chat. And you can always just private message us on Facebook.
Thank you, everyone. Must reads. So we appreciate it. We wish you a great week. Spread the word, have joy and happiness. And remember, you are unlimited. Namaste. We love you. You have a great day. Thank you, everyone.
Love you.